Hey guys, what's up? So today we have the very last checklist pretty much for this truck to get it ready, to get it started. There's a few things I still gotta do, but they're pretty minor things, and we can get all those things done pretty quick, hopefully in one day. So let's get to that. So the first task for today is going to be deleting the exhaust flange on this thing. And basically all it is we gotta remove those two rivets so we can remove the actual valve, actual gate, and so that we can slide the rod all the way down. Now, the reason why I'm taking this off is because if you look inside of this thing, you can really see how much restriction it makes. And you know that you want to completely get rid of any restrictions in your exhaust to help your engine breathe a lot better. Anyways, let me get my drill so we can drill out those two rivets and get this thing out of there. Okay guys, check that out. Check out all that flow, nice and clear all the way through. So now all I did was just drill out the rivets that were holding the gate to the rod. It took a little while, I broke a drill bit, but it's all good, we got it out. The one that I used was 1/4 inch, and that worked pretty well. That's what I would recommend. Now the last thing you want to do is you want to plug this hole. All you need is a 20 mil freeze plug, but I'm not actually going to install this right now. I'm actually going to take this whole housing to my work and I'm gonna clean it up. We actually have this machine. It's a bead blaster, so it basically shoots up. It's kind of like sandblasting, but instead of using sand, it's gonna use little metal BBs to clean this stuff off and leave it looking like new. So I want to make this look as nice as I can next to my turbo. So I'll take this to work and I'll come back tomorrow and throw that freeze plug in, but to you it's just gonna be a second. Okay guys, and just like that we were back and done with this thing, and look at that. It looks basically brand new and it's gonna look great next to that turbo. As you can see, again, nice and open, no restrictions. Now the only thing we gotta do is we gotta throw a freeze plug in the hole that was left by the rod, and that'll be it. Okay guys, so we got this done, and the first thing that I did was remove this bushing that was in there, just so that I could get the freeze plug a little bit further in there. That is just simply held in there with this little spring clip. Took that out. I was able to punch the bushing down with this punch. Punched it all the way down and out. And then the second thing that I did was I installed the actual freeze plug. Now, I had understood that the freeze plug was a 20 mil freeze plug, but it actually turns out that the hole was about, I think, 18.5 mil. So I made it a little bit bigger with my Dremel. Made it a little bit bigger, just big enough so that that freeze plug would still fit in there really nice and tight. I think I ended up making it 19.5 mil, so that the freeze plug would really be tight in there. I pressed it in there with the vice grip first until it was pretty much flush, then beat it down with my hammer and suck it until it was all the way down in there. And as you can see, it looks really nice. It's right in there, nice deep, and I can guarantee you that thing's never coming out or leaking. And I'm 100% sure that this thing's going to be much better sealed than that rod was in there, because I could see soot all around it. So that thing's not going anywhere, and it's going to be really nice and well sealed. But anyways, now that this is done, we can finally take it to the truck and install it, and that's pretty much going to be it for the turbo. The turbo's going to be done after this thing's in there, which I am so excited over. So anyways, let's jump over to the truck and get this thing installed. Okay guys, look at this. I have the exhaust flange back on the truck, on the turbo. And all I'm doing now is just throwing the bolts back on it all around. And throwing a little bit of Loctite on them to make sure that they don't come loose. We're just going to put a few drops on this thing. Don't really need much. And we're going to throw the bolts on it. And look at how good this thing looks. It all pretty much looks brand new. And one more. Okay. Now, where isn't it? There we go. This bottom one's the harder one to reach, but it's really not that bad. I can't really remember how I took it out. Can't find the hole, guys. There we go. Found it. Now I'm gonna grab my 10 mil and just start tightening up all of these. I think they're 8 mil. Yeah, it's an 8 mil. Put the cap back on this thing because we don't need it anymore. And we'll grab the 8 mil. Yep, it's an 8 mil. This one just a little bit snug. First, you don't want to get them too tight on the first go. And actually, I think for this one we're actually gonna need the socket, which I know that I have somewhere. And now the fun one is gonna be this bottom one. Okay, make sure you get him nice and tight. Now we're gonna get the rest of them tight. Make sure that none of this leaks any exhaust. Oh, and obviously this thing is oriented with the new freeze plug that you just put in facing down. The freeze plug that came with it faces up. Now you can buy a already deleted, kind of from the factory or whatever, exhaust flange, but I think they're like $100 or somewhere around that range, and all I spent was 50 cents on that on that freeze plug. So I think 50 cents is better than $100 if you ask me. And I think that's pretty tight. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is put this clamp back on. And I want to make sure that everything lines up pretty good before you tighten it. Okay, that to me looks pretty solid. Now you just gotta tighten this thing. I guess an impact would have been pretty nice right here, but that's alright. Wow, that is it. Okay guys, so we got the turbo all finished up. It's all buttoned up and ready to go. Let me show you. So there we go. I actually ended up installing the intake Y on there, and the only thing left to do is put the intake on it, but I'm gonna leave that off for right now until I'm done with the glow plugs, putting those back on. But it was actually not that bad putting the exhaust flange on, and everything actually went on super easy. A lot easier than it came out. But anyways, that was pretty much it. But now we can finally move on to the next thing, which is gonna be actually rewiring the harness on the other side to take the Super Duty harness, because I never actually finished it. I did this side, but I never did that side. So I'm gonna do that. I'll probably find a way to hide this wire too, and put the glow plugs back in. And I think after that, all we gotta do is put the chip back in the truck, and then it'll pretty much be ready. So anyways, let's get to that. Okay guys, so we got quite a bit more work done on this thing. We finished well, actually all we did was finish the wiring for the driver's side valve cover harness, and we got everything wrapped in loom. And I do gotta say, this looks way cleaner, especially because we also deleted the little harness that goes to the EVPV. Since all that stuff's deleted, we deleted that, and we installed a little resistor that I got from Diesel O-rings. So, and all that's tucked in here, so you can see it looks way cleaner now. There's a lot less wires going around this thing, which I'm a fan of. But anyways, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the glow plugs back in. I already spun the engine over by hand and cranked it with the key a few turns to make sure that there was no oil or any sort of fuel or liquid in the cylinders, and it spun over perfectly fine. So I think we're good to put the glow plugs back in, and put the valve cover harnesses back on the truck, back on the engine. And after that, we're gonna throw the chip in and we'll be done. So anyways, let me real quick go ahead and throw the glow plugs in and the valve covers, and we'll pretty much be done with this side of the engine. The only thing I gotta do is tuck this wire somewhere nice and neat, and man, we'll pretty much be ready to fire this thing up. Okay guys, so we're pretty much done with this whole thing. Let me show you. I've got the valve covers back on, both of them. The turbo, all my wiring is back in. I set the fuel pressure. The only thing that I gotta tell you about the valve covers is it's got, the driver's side has 4 studs. The 2 back ones on the top and the bottom are studs, and the ones that hang on to this bracket are studs. So what I usually do is I put in those 4 studs and all the bolts, and the back bolt, the very back bolt by the firewall, you put that in, tying everything down, then put your bracket and that other little cover bracket, and put 2 nuts and tying it, and that's it. Same for this thing. With this one, there's bolts all the way around, except the one holding the dipstick in place. So you want to put in all the bolts, all the studs, then put the dipstick bracket in, the nuts, and tying it, and that's it. But yeah, basically at this point, I'm pretty much ready to start this thing up. But I'm gonna do you guys a really bad one, and I'm gonna save that for the next video. I'm sorry guys, but we gotta do this. And plus, we're already kind of running kind of long, kind of late, and I still have to edit this video. So, but don't worry, this thing's gonna start up, hopefully, fingers crossed. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you don't get too too mad over making you guys wait for the next video till I start this thing up. And hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. See you for the next one.